Hello everyone, this is part 30 of What If Naruto Was Like Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Damn, da. Fullmetal. For the love of Kami, enough. Akiza finally yelled across the training field at Naruto, "You have been trying to jump on that damn cloud ever since we got here today to train. The only time you stopped was at lunch when we were walking through town, and that was just because you didn't want people to find out what you were working on. At least you were smart enough to take your shirt off after the second attempt." Naruto looked over at his agitated girlfriend. "Oh, twitching eyebrow, better run damage control before I end up not getting any tonight." He walked over to Akiza and gave her a smile while running his hand through his drenched hair. "Well, I have to work on the move, Akiza-chan. I'm fully aware that this is possible. I can do it. It will just take time and practice like anything else. In the meantime, I am going to be falling through this cloud a lot until I can find a way to stand on it." Akiza nodded before frowning. "You're all wet." Naruto grinned. "Well, duh, I have been falling through a cloud for the last several hours. Now give me a hug." He finished with his arms outstretched. Akiza started backing away. "No way, you're totally soaked. Get away from me until you dry yourself off." She saw the glint in Naruto's eye as he started stalking her down and gave a stern look in warning. "Fullmetal number. Seriously, don't try it. I'm warning you, stop it now. If you get my clothes all wet for no reason, I'm going to kick your A." Failing to heed her words, Naruto ran at her and after avoiding a few kicks that she let off as an attempt to follow through on her threat, he tackled her to the ground and lay on top of her. "You see, Akiza-chan, was that so hard? All I wanted was a hug." Akiza laughed as she beat on Naruto's back to let her up. "You bastard. I'm going to K you when you let me up." Naruto smirked and pulled her to her feet before bringing her close and flaring his wind chakra around them momentarily, and there you go, problem solved. Akiza rolled her eyes with a smile on her face as she punched Naruto in the sea before fixing her blown around hair. "So when are you going out on missions again? I know you didn't just come back just so you can train somewhere familiar." Naruto chuckled as they began leaving the training field to head home. "I don't know. I was never given an order to reassemble the team. I guess they're trying to figure how you'll end up fitting into the entire combination. Maybe they'll still have Kakashi run the show, or maybe they'll let me head up the team. I am a Tokubutsu Junin now, you know." Akiza gave him a yes look. "Yes, I know, you've only told me 1,000 times over the past week. I get it." Naruto put an arm around her and pulled her close. "Oh, don't feel bad, Akiza-chan. You'll get bumped back up to Junin soon enough, I know it. There's no need to be jealous of me and my rise to the top." Akiza growled before smirking at him. "If I get promoted before you get promoted, I would outrank you. Would you like being bossed around by me, honey?" Naruto shrugged. "You do it in the bedroom, so I don't see why it shouldn't happen elsewhere." He then caught an elbow to the ribs for his trouble. "What? You know it's true. I still love you for it. At least you aren't ridiculously aggressive like I'm sure Sakura-chan is with Sasuke team." He laughed to himself. She probably tormented his A for the first few times they did it. Akiza shook her head. "So I'm going to be on your squad?" Naruto nodded. "Yeah. I figured that it would be the best way to work you into the system, seeing as how it's my team, you know them somewhat already and they like you, and you've been working with me for 2 years, so there's probably no one in the village with the continuity in battle that we would have. Are you okay with that?" It was a good point. She didn't know anyone except for Naruto, Joshiro, Haku, Sasuke, and Sakura. Working with Naruto would definitely work her into the system, but honestly, she was actually relieved that she would be on Naruto's team, though she didn't openly show it, for reasons that only she knew about. She smiled over at Naruto. "Yeah, that's absolutely fine with me. I don't see how I could have possibly meshed with anyone else's team anyway, they would have mistrusted me." Naruto scoffed. "If you don't believe in something, you don't believe in something. Iwa turned their backs on you first. I treat you better than they treated you and hopefully Konoha will too. I know Big Boss and Haku-nichan like you, Sakura-chan likes you, and Sasuke doesn't hate you, and that's better than most people get, so be proud of that. You're right, I guess. Akiza rubbed her arm. Are really going to go back through town without your shirt on? Naruto placed his hands behind his head. Yeah. It's hot out here, and what do I care? Zabuza runs around shirtless all of the damn time and no one says S to him. Although the fact that he carries that massive butcher knife with him might have something to do with that. What about your arm? She asked. Won't it bother you when you start getting questions about it? Naruto looked at his right arm. No, not really. It's better than being ignored, and if the adults were going to call me a freak anyway, I could care less if they have an issue with the arm. No one calls any of the ninja that have lost limbs during their careers freaks or talks about them. They treat them like heroes, so again, what do I care? I'll see anyone who says anything bad about you in front of me in half. Akiza said darkly, you're the greatest person I've ever been around, Fullmetal, and you really should be treated better. Meh. Naruto shook it off. I have people that like me, people that care about me, and you. As long as you love me, I don't really care what everyone else has to say. Don't do anything to make things difficult for you here over me, Akiza-chan. I want you to be happy. You idiot. Akiza thought as they began to emerge from the trees and enter the residential area. I'm here for you. How can I be happy if you aren't happy? I won't let anything hurt you, Fullmetal. Nothing inside of these walls or anything beyond them. XXX. Tsunade looked out at the 14s that were currently populating her office. Do you know why I've called you here today? She then sighed as two of them raised their hands. Yes, I know that you two know Naruto and Sasuke. That was a hypothetical question. They both lowered their hands. Thank you. Anyway, I am reforming Team 7 with an extra member, Akiza. Naruto rubbed his hands together anxiously. So who's running the whole shebang? Bang Tsunade bar. Me. Please say me. Sakura rolled her eyes. If it's Naruto, we're all S. Sasuke nodded in agreement. That's not really true, Akiza said, uninspired until both Sakura and Sasuke looked over at her. Okay, it's based off of some fact I have to say. Hey, Naruto said, that's mean. Tsunade placed her hands on her temple. It's not him anyway. Three of you already know who this person is. Come on in. In a puff of smoke, a smiling man with his Hatei 8 pulled over one eye and a face mask on appeared in front of them. Hello everyone. Naruto frowned. Kakashi. So I'm not going to get to boss around Sasuke team, Sakura-chan, and Akiza-chan. That's disheartening. Afraid not, Naruto. Kakashi chirped helpfully. I get to boss around all of you. Now who's ready to take on our first mission as Team 7 again? He asked brightly. Sakura smiled at the thought, as long as it's not D-ranked Kakashi-sensei. Naruto curled his face in distaste. If you think I'm going to sit through a D rank as my first mission back, you must be as dumb as I look. It's not like I need to be eased back in or anything. I've been fighting ever since I left, so there's no need for that. Akiza tapped Naruto on the back of the head. Chunin and Junin don't get D ranks, Fullmetal. Stop being a pest to Hokage-sama before she pulverizes you. Tsunade folded her hands under her chin and looked at Akiza with a smile. I think I'm going to like you, dear. Akiza smiled back at her, adjusting the brand new Hatei 8 around her N. Oh yeah? Naruto grumbled. Crack Naruto in the head a few times in public and everybody loves you, but when I hit somebody in the face for cracking wise at my whiskers, we have to leave the restaurant. Sasuke rolled his eyes. That's different. You're too spontaneous for your own good sometimes, Dobe. Spontaneous? Naruto asked indignantly. There's nothing spontaneous about the things that I do. You want to see spontaneous? The doors to Tsunade's office opened as a messenger ran in, panting, like this guy right here. Naruto stopped the man from getting to Tsunade's desk. Buddy, what's your name? The messenger blinked. Me. I'm Seizo. Naruto turned back to Sasuke. You see. Seizo. Naruto then sidekicked Seizo, forcing his message scroll to fly into the air and land in Tsunade's hands. You see, team. I just kicked Seizo in the face. That's spontaneous. Naruto then stormed out of Tsunade's office, mumbling the entire time about how he'd show you spontaneous. He then proceeded to kick 3 more office aides in the face that crossed his path as he walked out of the tower. Cursing and mumbling followed him out. Sasuke watched the wake of random violence left behind. Well, I don't know if that was really spontaneous or not, but it was mildly entertaining to watch. Oh hell, Tsunade said as she read over the scroll her office aide had delivered to her, someone go get Naruto, we have a first mission that's absolutely perfect for your team. XXX. Naruto and Akiza stood at the main gate. After being caught up with right outside of the tower, he and she had gone home to grab the gear for a mission outside of the country. The mission: assist in the rescue of the Kazekage. Apparently a man in a cloak with red clouds engaged in battle against him above the village and upon defeating him abducted him. Obviously Akatsuki and Naruto was walking right into their clutches, but at the moment there weren't very many people on the planet better equipped towards facing off with them. Besides, how could it possibly get any worse than fighting a guy that couldn't S along with a guy that he had to K 5 times in order to finish off? He wasn't concerned about that, but why the hell would Akatsuki be going after the Kazekage? That was something he would have to ask about when he got there. Man, he wished he had finished his seal for this mission. Running across the desert didn't really appeal to him, to be quite honest. As everyone else on Team 7 appeared at the front gate soon thereafter, Naruto cracked his N, so is everybody ready to go? I know I wanted a combat mission for my first one back, but this is absurd. I didn't expect anything this big. Kakashi shifted his pack on his back. You're the next best thing to a full Junin now, Naruto. With the rank you have now, you'll be getting a lot of these kinds of things. I don't know if I told you this yet, but I am very proud of you. He turned to face Sasuke and Sakura, of all of you. He then gave Akiza a nice smile, and while I don't know you well enough to say so, I hope you'll make me proud too. With that, the new lineup of Kakashi's squad set out towards Sunagakure. Kakashi was the Junin commander, the leader of the team. Naruto was clearly the frontline soldier, with Akiza his direct support in combat. Sasuke was the midrange support and ninjutsu specialist. And Sakura was the long-range support and medic nin of the team. If someone had asked him how he felt about this, Kakashi would have said he was damn excited to see what this squad could do, and he had a feeling he was going to find out and then some by the time the mission concluded. Sasuke and Sakura had not fallen out of familiarity with one another, obviously being together they knew each other very well, and with both of them passing the Chunin exam together that just added to it. They were actually ecstatic to have Naruto back on the team. He was good before he left, and with all of the rumors trickling in about his exploits abroad, they were making him seem nigh unstoppable at this point. Akiza was a plus. They didn't know that much about her, but from the way Naruto spoke of her combat skills and how he told the story of their 2 full-scale fights back before he was ever even a high-level bounty piqued their interest. Akiza was alright with the way things were. She liked Naruto's team as Sasuke seemed like a good person if not a little prickish, but she could deal with that. Sakura was a good girl, and had been nothing but pleasant to her since her arrival. Maybe she could be her first real friend in the new village. His Junin seemed like a good person, and that person was Kakashi Hatake, Sharingan no Kakashi. Seriously, she had just gotten through training with Jiraiya of the Sannin, her boyfriend was the Fullmetal Alchemist, Naruto Uzumaki, and her new team leader was Kakashi Hatake. It was like she was just running through the gauntlet of Iwa's current hit list as her personal acquaintances. Naruto was pleased with the way things had turned out so far. Sasuke wasn't a prick after Sakura, and Kakashi apparently straightened him out after his Hellafide kicking of a lifetime at the Valley of the End all those years ago. Sakura was as kind to him as she was starting to be by the time he had left, and she seemed to get along great with his foreign girlfriend, which was a plus in his book. Everything was coming up roses for the blonde at the moment, but he was still thinking about Akatsuki. 2 down, 7 to go. Who would he end up having to deal with this time, and why the hell were they after the Kazekage? Maybe he should have stayed in the office when Tsunade gave them the mission in the first place. Eventually they came upon an outpost where they found a familiar face. Kakashi called out to her as they got close, Temari-san. Temari had on a black-colored robe with a red sash around her waist. She had on black gloves and a black hatei around her head. She turned to face the group of ninja curiously. What's going on? I just left Konoha and was on my way home. Kakashi sighed. That's kind of what this is about. The Kazekage has been abducted and we've been sent to help recover him. Temari gasped as her eyes widened in shock. Gaara. It can't be. Now that had fully caught Naruto's attention. Gaara. No way, he's the Kazekage. Of course, why else would the Akatsuki be after the Kazekage so abruptly otherwise? Realization then dawned on him, they've got Gaara. We've got to get over there. He was really cursing that his seal wasn't complete at this point. It would have been a boon towards his efforts to rush to Suna at this point. Akiza latched onto his arm and rooted her legs into the ground to keep him from springing off towards the desert once more. Calm down, Fullmetal. Don't run right into trouble. What use would you be to the Kazekage if you went and got yourself caught too? She gasped as he looked back at her with red bee into his normally blue eyes. Seriously, calm down. Just wait for a minute. Please, for me. He let the blue seep back into his eyes before looking down. Sorry, Akiza-chan. Naruto then proceeded to walk off into the direction that his team had been taking to head to Suna, leaving everyone else standing at the outpost, some wondering what had just happened. Kakashi walked up to her and put a hand on Akiza's shoulder. Do you know about Naruto's power? Akiza nodded. He told me right before we got together. They don't know, do they? Kakashi shook his head. Sasuke has wondered about what Naruto used to beat him, but I've never told him what it was. I always told him that if he wanted to know he had to ask Naruto about it. He looked back at Temari. You should come with us as we head to Suna. Everyone, let's go. XXX. After hours of running, the group eventually stopped near the border of Kawa no Kuni, river country. Naruto simply stared at the fire that he had set up upon their arrival, not saying much of anything short of mumbling a thanks when food had been passed his way. Temari looked out at Naruto, who had Akiza sitting next to him with her head on his shoulder. Why did you react the way you did when you heard about my brother being K? Naruto's eyes panned up and looked at her. It's very personal. But trust me when I say, when I find the guys that did it, I'm going to tear them apart just like the last set I ran across. Temari's eyes widened. You know who did it. Who were they? She pleaded with him for any information. Naruto figured that at this point, if they were going to rescue Gaara, they at least needed to know what they were up against. Kakashi knew, Akiza knew, no one else did, and that just wouldn't do for them to go in half-aid in this situation. Gaara was taken by a group known by the name of Akatsuki. I've had 2 run-ins with them. The first time I was when I was 12. I was completely destroyed. Sasuke was there. Your brother is a member. Sasuke's Sharingan activated for a second, so we might see Itachi on this mission. He said, as he calmed himself and deactivated it. Naruto shrugged. I couldn't say. There are 9 members of Akatsuki. IK2 so far. Akiza-chan totally decimated one of them, but he just wouldn't. I had to really pull out the big guns to finish him off for good, and the other one that I fought had 4 extra hearts, so I had to K him 5 times to win. I can only wonder what the rest of them are like. They're like boogeymen. Sasuke remembered that day. First they targeted you and now Gaara. What do you and Gaara have in common for these people to be after you? Naruto let out a sigh as he felt Akiza tighten her grip on him. If you guys are going to be on my team, I guess it's time you find out once and for all what the deal is with me. It wouldn't be fair to put you into this kind of situation regularly without knowing why. Kakashi chimed in. Naruto, are you sure you want to tell them about this now? Naruto nodded. Like I said, if they're going to be my team, they need to know this. He looked around the fire at everyone. So you all obviously know the story of October 10th, right? Sakura nodded. Yes. 15 years ago the Yondaime Hokage defeated the Kyuubi and saved the village. We have a festival to celebrate it every year. Naruto chuckled. Yeah, I hate that damn festival. Sakura looked at him oddly. How could you hate the festival, Naruto? It's the biggest event of the year in Konoha. Naruto shrugged. I wouldn't know since I've never gotten to go without being chased away. Chase me once, shame on me. Chase me twice, lose my arm. Chase me 3 times, well, I never tried going back after the 2nd time. Akiza elbowed him in the side to let him know he was getting off topic. Anyway. Does anyone here know how he did it? The one that knows exactly how it was done will receive all of my pay for this mission. Not you, Kakashi. Naruto said, pointing at Kakashi as he lowered his head in defeat. Sakura's eyes shone at the opportunity, but as she opened her mouth to answer, she didn't have an answer. I don't know. Sasuke-kun, she asked. Sasuke grunted, obviously unable to answer either. Where are you going with this, Naruto? Naruto smirked bitterly. You're looking at the key to the whole thing. It was impossible for him to K the Kyuubi, so he had to seal it inside of something. He looked over at Temari, sounding familiar yet. Temari nodded as she actually understood where he was going with this. Naruto continued, the only thing that could adjust to the massive power of the Kyuubi was the body of a newborn baby, since its chakra coils weren't developed and could withstand the massive amounts of demonic chakra. Why don't you go ahead and guess who the lucky kid just so happened to be? I'll give you a hint, who else do you know that was born on October 10th? Sasuke and Sakura looked at each other and shrugged in defeat, forcing Naruto to facepalm. You rat bastards don't even know my damn birthday. I see how much you treasure our team dynamic. I'll be sure to remember that when July 23rd and March 28th roll around. Akiza looked up from his shoulder at him expectantly. February 25th, Akiza-chan, I know it. She smiled and gave him a K on the cheek. Sasuke stared at Naruto in disbelief. So that means that you were the one that was used as the container. Naruto looked at him with a ghost of a smile on his face. Congratulations, you are now the first of our generation of Konoha shinobi to know that this actually happened. How do you feel right now? Sakura almost fell back in shock. So this entire time when I asked you why you were so disliked for no real reason. Naruto gave her a nod. This is why. A reason I never had the option of turning down, and while these days it isn't nearly as bad as it once was, if you look around in Konoha you can still see it in the eyes of the older people. They don't trust me, they don't like me, and they would really all rather I disappear. So that power that you used after I called on Orochimaru's cursed seal, Sasuke figured, that was the power of the Kyuubi that you brought out to match it. You got it, team. Naruto said, by the way, in case I didn't tell you, I'm truly glad you got over the whole Orochimaru thing, because there's someone in his little organization that I really want to run through with a dull arm blade, and having you anywhere near the area I did it in as an enemy would have not been good for you. The group sat in silence for a while. So does anyone have anything to say? Just being quiet about the whole thing is actually more unnerving than answering any questions you may have. Temari took him up on this. So that's why you were so fired up to get Gaara, because he's more like you than anyone would care to notice. Naruto smiled at her. You've got it. I'm not going to say I've had people trying to K me since the age of 6 almost non-stop, but the one good time they tried, one guy got my right arm. I do know what it's like to be seen as a monster, and hearing how he actually overcame all of that and became Kazekage just to get it snatched away by Akatsuki makes me want to hurt someone. Sasuke looked at the fire for a moment before speaking. What's it like? I ask because when I used Orochimaru's seal it was like a rush, a high. I felt so much power going through me and I knew that it was wrong, but with strength like it gave me I didn't care. Naruto locked eyes with him. It's not the same as when you used that messed up seal. I've always had it to some extent. When I would heal from stuff way faster than any of you ever could and be ready to fight again 3 times faster for 5 times longer than the rest of you, that's just one example. Tapping into Kyuubi-chan's chakra makes me more prone to K stuff if that's what you're asking. And if I use more than I can handle I lose control and can go berserk, but I have a very good handle on that. Now that comment dropped some jaws around the fire. Chan. Kyuubi-chan. Naruto shrugged. Yeah, Kyuubi-chan. Kyuubi's a girl. A hot girl. A really hot girl. Akiza elbowed him in the side again. What? I can't lie, I met her before I met you. I could have sworn I told Kakashi this already though. She's not bad. And I can tell you that the attack on Konoha wasn't just some random occurrence or some force of nature, it was orchestrated by someone. Who was it? Sakura asked. This was some serious stuff. Who knew Naruto was really this important? Naruto looked at Sasuke. You're not going to believe me when I say it, so please don't leap across the fire and attack me, I'm just the messenger. Sasuke blinked. Why? Naruto moved Akiza off of him in case Sasuke didn't listen to his previous instruction. The guy that did it had a Sharingan, he used it to take control of her and make her rampage. What? Sasuke asked loudly. Naruto scratched his head. I know it sounds totally improbable, but in a way it makes sense if you look at some other indicators. I completely and utterly suck at genjutsu, and no amount of work has ever gotten me past that point. Kyuubi-chan is barely better than me, and all she can do is let me know when I'm in one. That's why when we fight again, even if I win, I'm going to be more hurt than you because I'm going to have to keep hurting myself to break your stupid genjutsu attempts. Sasuke's hands trembled. Which one? Do you know which Uchiha it was? Naruto shook his head. If I knew about it, you would too as we speak. I don't know. Look, we've gone way farther in this than I expected to. I just have one question. Do any of you have a problem with me having Kyubi-chan in me? It's as simple as that. Sasuke had a stone look on his face before smirking. You're no demon. No demon could be as goofy and airheaded as you are most of the time. You're not evil, you're my stupid Dobe teammate. Sakura smiled at him. What Sasuke-kun said. You've already proven that you're a good person, and you're a good friend. You haven't done anything to make me believe that you're a destructive force. Akiza scoffed. He's destructive all right. You don't have to be a demon to be a menace to society. I had no clue you were so insane, Fullmetal. I mean, I had an idea, but living with you and your brother has finally given me all of the evidence I need to say that you are one mentally twisted man. Naruto rolled his eyes. You know you love it though. Akiza smirked at him. True enough. Naruto looked over at Temari, who had a dull look on her face. So what about you, Temari? Does this bother you? Temari kept looking at him as if he was stupid. I live with Gaara. Gaara, the I'll pay you to prove my existence guy. He's not like that anymore after you beat him, but if I could deal with that kind of demon container for as long as I did, what makes you think I would have a problem with you? Gaara's like infinitely more intimidating than you. She finished with a small smile. Naruto grinned widely at everyone around the fire. Well, that certainly worked out well, didn't it? I was expecting at least one of you to hate my guts before we were done here. Kakashi gave Naruto an eye smile. Well, Naruto, it seems that there's nothing that you can do to make your teammates' opinion of you any lower than it already is. Naruto's grinning face turned to him. I know, right? Hey. That was mean, Kakashi. XXX. The next day, Sunagakur. Upon entering the desert, Naruto had cast aside his long-sleeved black button-up shirt, leaving him in a black tank top with his red cloak over it. Akiza had taken off her hoodie, leaving her in a mesh undershirt like Anko. However, unlike Anko, she wore a black training bra under it. Akiza panted as they ran across the sands, edging ever closer to a dome-like structure. I hate the desert so much. My complexion is dark enough, thank you. Naruto groaned at Akiza's complaints. Whatever, Miss Miniskirt, at least it's tough for you to get sunburned. I have to either keep wearing this heavy thing and of liquid deprivation or be as red as a lobster by the time we get to Suna. Sasuke made his usual grunting noise. Well, then you two should have come dressed more aptly to the climate. Naruto glared back at him. Akiza-chan kind of did. I've been wandering for the last 2.5 years, therefore I dress like a wanderer. When you wander, you wear a cloak and heavy clothes. That's just what you do. I never came through the desert and learned my lesson because someone didn't like the climate and didn't even want to make an attempt. He finished, shooting a look at Akiza. Akiza met his glare with a smile. Even back then you were whipped, weren't you? I should have taken advantage of that more than I did. That brought a round of laughs from everyone else. Naruto looked at her with his eyes closed. Well, when I test out my seal by going on my trip all over the elemental nations, ambassador style, I know who I'm not taking with me. Akiza jumped into his arms and latched around his N with stars in her eyes. Please, Fullmetal, don't shut me out like that. You know I've been excited about your seal since you started on it. Naruto rolled his eyes. Yeah, you were super excited back when you were watching me rocket headfirst into the sides of mountains and stuff. Everybody wants of the bread, but nobody wants to help the baker make it. Kakashi looked back at Naruto. You're working on a seal, Naruto. Naruto almost dropped Akiza and stumbled before looking back at Kakashi sheepishly. No one was supposed to know about that until I was done with it. Kakashi kept looking at him. Can I get a hint on what it's supposed to do? Naruto turned back forward and sped out ahead of everyone else. Nope. As he pulled away from the pack, eventually Naruto was forced to stop as a massive shuriken flew at him, forcing him to block with his right arm to protect the girl on his back. Naruto and Akiza found themselves surrounded by Suna shinobi, tch. So this is what they do to people that come to help them. Naruto motioned his head to Akiza on his back, who poured some water from her survival flask on the ground just as Naruto clapped his hands and placed them down. The resulting transmutation made some form of fast-acting quicksand that buried the Suna ninja all up to their shoulders. Naruto used the water-walking technique to stay on top of it all as he looked down at him, shaking his head. Note the hate ate. Konoha. Ko no ha. You know, the place in the forest that's supposed to be allied with you. The rest of the squad caught up to see Naruto standing over a bunch of Suna ninja buried in the sand. Kakashi and Temari walked forward. Naruto let him out. Naruto clapped and placed his hands back on the ground to act accordingly with his order, releasing the astonished group of attackers. Hey, I didn't do anything but hold them in place to defend myself, so don't call me a hothead. If I was a hothead, I would have just let them sink straight to the bottom in a hurry. He looked over at Temari. I'm not in trouble for this, am I? Because they threw stuff at me first. The group of Suna ninja all ran up to Temari. Temari-sama, Kankuro-sama has been poisoned trying to retrieve Kazekage-sama. Temari gasped, take me to him. Sakura walked forward. I'm a medic nin that has trained under Tsunade of the Sannin, I may be able to help him. XXX. White Fang. All of the Konoha ninja had to stop and stare as a short old woman in the hospital room with Kankuro pointed at Kakashi, leaking K intent before jumping off of the stool she was standing on to see up on Kankuro's operating table to rush at Kakashi. Kakashi pointed at himself stupidly, who me? She ran at Kakashi with a blade drawn before Naruto and Sasuke both disappeared from view, reappearing on both sides of her with the blade of their sword out off transmuted auto-mail plating at her end. Naruto growled lowly, what is it today with Suna ninja being so quick on the draw when it comes to attacking us? Is it me? Sasuke smirked, who knows? Maybe your stupid cloak reminds them of Akatsuki. Naruto scoffed in an amused fashion, my cloak doesn't look anything like an Akatsuki cloak, nothing at all about my cloak resembles it. The doctors in the room were surprised at the sudden actions of everyone involved in what had just happened. Chiyo Basama. An older man, close in age to Chiyo, walked over to her, Naruto, and Sasuke, still with the boys holding her back. Sister, that isn't the White Fang. Yes, years ago, remember. That is probably his son. Kakashi rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Yes, I'm Kakashi Hatake. Chiyo looked at Kakashi before laughing oddly, my mistake. Naruto and Sasuke looked at each other before putting their blades away. Temari ran into the room to stand by her brother's bed. What happened to Kankuro? One of the medic ninja explained the situation to her. He went after Kazekage-sama's K and ended up being poisoned by Sasori. Not even Chiyo Basama could come up with antidote that can cure him. Another one spoke up, it's a truly wicked creation. It paralyzes the victim and K them in 3 days' time. Sakura walked forward towards Kankuro. I believe that I'm able to extract the poison, if you're willing to allow me to do so. Naruto whistled, extract the poison, Sakura-chan. Bar-chan must have worked you in order for you to be able to pull that off. She looked back at Naruto with a smile, you weren't the only one training while time passed, Naruto. She turned back to the medic ninja and Temari, I can help him, but we have to move quickly. I'll need a list of supplies to get started, if you'll be willing to cooperate with me. Temari nodded as the medic ninja spoke, yes of course, give us a list of what you need and we'll get it to you immediately. With that being done, the rest of the Konoha ninja simply moved aside and let Sakura work, and from there it was clearly evident what she was now capable of as a medic. Sakura skillfully extracted the poison from Kankuro's body and ran the room like an experienced doctor that should have been more than twice her age. Sakura-chan's really good, Naruto commented from the side, with Akiza asleep, head in his lap. She's really gotten better. Sasuke agreed, after you stopped me from leaving she ended up getting training and was apprenticed to Hokage-sama. Trust me, this isn't the only thing she can do either. Naruto's eyes widened, wait, you said apprenticed to her. Does that mean she knows the crazy, absurd, holy s how'd she do that with her bare hands strength thing that Tsunade Barkan can do? Sasuke let out a shiver, oh yeah. She can definitely do that. Trust me. Naruto grinned, cool, because it's not like she can try to hit me anymore. I've got a girlfriend that has dibs on hitting me for being stupid, and she doesn't have super strength, so sucks for you team. Sasuke frowned, that's not even fair. Naruto rolled his eyes, says the guy that can steal everybody's moves with a passing glance. Sasuke chuckled, you jealous? Naruto shook his head with a smirk on his face, I'd be lying if I said no, but I've still got the alchemy. No matter what, you can never do that, so there. Naruto looked down as he felt Akiza shift in his lap, she always sleeps as close to me as she can. Sasuke raised an eyebrow, you have a problem with that. Naruto waved his hands in front of his face rapidly. No, no, no. I love it actually, she's super affectionate when she sleeps. But I'm saying always, like even back before we were together, since the first day we started traveling together. She thought I didn't know. Whenever I get up at night and come back, I'll see her face twisted in misery, I don't know why. She won't tell me either. Naruto ran a hand through her hair, bringing a smile to her face. Sasuke nodded. You said that you wanted to destroy someone that worked for Orochimaru. Who is it? Why? Naruto sighed. You know him. I want Kabuto's head on a silver platter one of these days. If I see him again, I'm going to do terrible, terrible things to him. Things that could get me tried for war crimes if that piece of S didn't already have crimes against humanity against him already. Sasuke never really expected to see or hear Naruto speaking like this. What did he do to you to make you hate him like this? Naruto looked down. He made me fight my mother to the death. Sasuke almost jumped out of his chair. You know your mother. You fought her to the death. How? Naruto motioned for him to sit while Kakashi was still over with Sakura, looking over her process with Kankuro. He found me after I started traveling with Akiza-chan. Do you know that Orochimaru called upon the deceased souls of the former Hokages to fight Sarutobi Gigi during the Chunin exam? Well, he did that same thing to bring my mother back to life. He let her talk to me, Sasuke. I heard her voice, I heard her call me son, and then I felt her kick my A. Can you possibly imagine your own mother doing that to you for even a moment? I had to completely eradicate the body to win. She nearly came me and Akiza-chan until I finally snapped out of it and finished the fight. Kabuto was long gone, and even if he hadn't left I wouldn't have been in any condition to pursue. Sasuke simply sat in silence taking it all in. So you finally understand how I felt when I was telling you about how much I wanted revenge. Naruto nodded, but I'm not going to lose my head over it, especially since as long as you and I are teammates and Orochimaru is still alive, if I hang around you or Ero Sennin long enough I'll end up getting my swing at that piece of crap since they want your Sharingan. You should be thinking the same way about Itachi actually. Sasuke looked at him in a confused fashion. What do you mean? Naruto grinned at him. Itachi is a part of a group of criminals that want to kill me, and they travel in twos. What the hell do you think I mean? If you hang around me long enough, you're going to get your shot at Itachi, more or less one-on-one, and you won't ever even need to hunt him down. He'll come right to you, because you're with me. That actually did end up putting a smile on Sasuke's face. Did anyone ever tell you that you have momentary flashes of utter brilliance from time to time? Naruto chuckled and looked down at Akiza. Every 2 months I reserve the right to say something smart that makes you think. XXX. The next day, Kakashi had sent for some sort of backup during the night that would meet with them while they were in pursuit. Sakura ended up finishing her work on Kankuro and was able to analyze the poison and make up an antidote before getting to sleep late that night. Kankuro ended up getting a piece of cloth from Sasori during his fight and ended up giving it to Kakashi to track him when they set out the next day. Temari was asked to stay back by the elders of Suna, due to the lack of defense that the village had for the moment. She fought it at first but finally relented, knowing that Gaara would have asked her to do the same if he were actually there. Naruto walked over and placed a hand on her shoulder. We're going to get him back, don't worry. We're more than enough to take those guys out. This is what I've been training for all of these years to get ready for. Temari gave him a smile. Good luck. Get him back for us, Naruto. Naruto gave her a thumbs up as he stepped back towards his team. He'll be back before you know it. Kakashi looked his team over. Be ready to move fast today. We are now going to be in full pursuit mode and cannot afford to fall any further behind. He got 4 consecutive nods from his younger comrades. Very well, now let's move out. Wait, Chio yelled from atop a nearby building before jumping down and landing in front of the Konoha team. I'm coming with you. The kids all looked between each other before Sasuke spoke up. We're going to be chasing some pretty powerful people here. Are you sure you need to bring yourself along? Chio scoffed. I'm not just some weak old lady. I will be Suna's representative on this mission. Kakashi shifted his pack on his back. Very well, if that is what you request then you may come along with us. This is a Suna issue after all. And with that they all set out once again, ending up in Kawa no Kuni once again. Since speed was the issue of the day here, Naruto had foregone his cloak and long-sleeve button-up shirt, once again traveling with simply his black pants and black tank top, drawing some questioning from a concerned teammate. Sakura noted how light Naruto was traveling. He didn't even have a pack with him like everyone else had. Naruto, where are all of your things? You barely have any equipment on you at all, just your kunai pouch. Naruto looked back at her with a smile, because I came up with a solution to carrying so much crap with me to weigh me down. I haven't carried a pack on me in months. He then reached into his pocket and pulled out his pack and then his cloak. Behold. The power of Fuinjutsu. Akiza pouted, I don't see why you didn't do that for my clothes. Naruto gave her a look, because when I said that in order to put it on your clothes I had to write visible seals on them, you threatened to K me. Otherwise your hoodie pockets would be brimming with all kinds of ninja goodies as we speak. Sakura looked at Naruto curiously, I don't see any seals on your clothes, Naruto. Naruto grinned back at her, because I'm already wearing black. I could have tons of seals all over me and you'd never know because you can't see them without some kind of dojutsu. But anyway, it's like a storage scroll only woven into my clothes. I've got the deepest pockets now, it's great. And as long as I have the same exact seal, down to the T on any piece of clothing I buy, I can pull my things from the same personalized pocket dimension. Sasuke looked at him thoughtfully, that sounds seriously useful. He then activated his Sharingan to look at Naruto. Whoa. Naruto wagged his eyebrows, I know right. Kakashi lifted his Hate to see what Sasuke saw and whistled, whoa is right. Naruto, that seal of yours is all over every inch of your pants. That is one elaborate seal. It's so worth it, Naruto said as he stuffed the things back into his pockets, you have no idea. It takes tons of hours to make though. Sasuke smirked, alright Dobe, how much money would it take for you to? Sasuke stopped speaking as he felt a familiar presence nearby, no way, here. Now. Naruto noticed how Sasuke had zoned out in the middle of his sentence, and swiftly followed him as Sasuke seemingly subconsciously sped up. As they broke through a line of trees, Naruto gasped before scratching his head alongside Sasuke, who was glaring with his Sharingan fully out and blazing. Well damn, I was talking about it last night, but I didn't really think it would be this soon. Kami, I'm bad luck, or good luck depending on who's being asked. Sasuke simply kept staring out ahead, his hand moving towards his sword. I would personally say good luck in this instance, Dobe, because I've been waiting for this for so long. It's been a while, hasn't it? Staring back at Sasuke were a pair of impassive Sharingan eyes. Hello little brother. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.